please?
Jelly, I'm so jelly. I'm green with envy.
Finally, we have a lass named Julie, whose hair sometimes becomes quite unruly. One day at the fair, she got a perm in her hair, and now it is orderly and curly. Julie is also doing the Project Advanced book, the Folk Tales, Project 1, and we have Miss Julie Holwegner. The title is The Night of the Seven Splashes. The Night of the Seven Splashes, Miss Julie Holwegner.
So many people around the world believe in the little people. Some of them are called leprechauns, some of them are gnomes. In the islands of Hawaii, they're known as the Menehune. And so today's story, The Night of the Seven Splashes, is a story about the Menehune. As all stories begin, once upon a time, in a land far, far away, on the island of Kauai, there lived 7 Menehune. Not just 7 Menehune, because that Kauai was the home island, but these were 7 special Menehune. You had Aka, who loved cattle, horses. He was a good, energetic rider. You had Peka, who loved to read, always had a book. You had Luca, who looked like he was a careless fellow and always seemed to need a bath. You had Oka, who was always hungry, always had pineapple around. You had Kele, kind of a lazy fellow, loved to lay down, take a nap, fishing pole in the stream. Good if he caught a fish, even better if he didn't, because then he didn't have to do anything with it, he could keep napping. You had Moke, who loved noise and having people around and having fun, and Wene, who was the opposite. He disliked people and noise and would be more than happy to be on his own. Now, the Menehune are very industrious people, and they always work at night. And whatever task they start, when dawn comes, it's done. If it's not finished, that's it. They don't go back to it the next day. One day, the king of Menehune made an announcement. They were going to build a new seawall, and all of the Menehune were going to be needed for this project. Our 7 Menehune were all disappointed. Eka wanted to go riding with his cattle. Peka had a really good book, and he really wanted to finish that book. Luca, who needed the bath, didn't like water, and was afraid that by having to work on the seawall, he was going to get dirty. He was going to need a bath after that. We had Oka, who tried to say what his problem was. He had to finish his pineapple. Once he finished his pineapple, he voiced that he wanted to be and take care of his pineapple fields that night. You had Kele, who wanted to take a nap. Moke had some friends that he wanted to go visit, and this was going to disrupt. And Wene's comment, he didn't want to be around the people, and if he had to go work, he was going to have to see people. So they all sat there, and they talked. And finally, one of them said, Kauai is getting too crowded. We need our new homes to live. They all nodded their heads, and one said, yeah, we should talk to the king. And Luca said, Peka, you're a good speaker. You can talk to the king. So that night, they went to work on the seawall, and before they started, they talked to the king. Peka explained what their thoughts were. King looked at him long and hard and said, I've known you all a long time. I know that you're not just saying this so that you can get out and work on the seawall. So work on the seawall tonight. Tomorrow night we'll build you new homes. They agreed. They worked on the seawall. The next night, the king called the Menehune together again and said, tonight's project, Kauai has grown crowded. We need to build 7 new homes, new islands for our friends. And a gasp went up among the Menehune. How could they build 7 new homes, new islands in one night? There was no way to carry that many rocks. And the king said, no, you're not remembering. We have our strongest helpers, the volcano and the sea. For years they've built Kauai, and they've been forming more lava just underneath the sea. All we need to do is pull it up, and we'll have new islands. He told the strongest divers to go one way, the strongest swimmers to go gather it with them. They all dove into the water, tied some ropes around the lava. The swimmers took those ropes, the other ends, back to land, and they tied it all into one big line. Hundreds of Menehune lined up and started a big tug of war. And they kept tugging, and eventually with a big splash, New Island, bigger than the island of Hawaii, splashed into the water. The king looked and said, "Will this work?" And Moke quickly raised his hand and said, "If my friends don't mind, I'll take this, and I can have my own island and have friends come visit." Everybody agreed. They said, "Okay, release the ropes from the lava, and we'll start on the next island." As the divers dived in, there were a couple people a little impatient. They pulled a little bit more, and suddenly a small island broke off from the recent one and splashed into the water. Before the king could yell, Wene raised his hand and said, "Nobody else would want that island. I'll take it. I can live there on my own." They agreed. That means they only had 5 more to go. Makes the job a lot easier. They continued on. Everybody dove into the water except for the king. He got on his boat and rowed across to the next island, and they started the process again. And they pulled, and they pulled, and finally again, a large island appeared. And one of the Menehune claimed that. And that process continued throughout the night as big splashes occurred with each of these islands forming. And at one point, they kept pulling so hard because this one island just would not come up. And before they knew it, a huge island splashed into the water with 2 volcanoes on it. And Aka laid claim to that island. That was going to be his. Now, Dawn was almost there, and they still had 2 islands to go. Before they could do anything more, the last 2 remaining Menehune said, "If you'll just chop off little pieces of this humongous island, we will take those, and that will be our island." And so they grabbed their hammers, they swam over to that island, and just as Dawn was finishing, they finished chopping off those last 2 pieces of the island. They all said it was a good night. Everybody swam home, with each of the Menehune swimming back to their islands. Now, no one knows if this is really the way that the Hawaiian Islands were formed. However, today there are 8 main islands in the Hawaiian Islands. You have Kauai, Oahu, which they say Moke claimed, and being a fun and person-loving Menehune, Kauai or Oahu now has 1 million people that live there, and tourists come every day. You have Peka, who claimed Maui. Maui has one of the first schools built west of the Rockies. You have Aka, who loved cattle. He claimed the Big Island of Hawaii. It has one of the largest cow ranches in the world on it. You have Oka, who loved pineapple. He claimed the land of the island of Lanai, which has one of the largest pineapple fields in the world. You have Wene, who did not like people. He claimed the island of Niihau. It's the only island in the chains where you need a personal invitation to actually go to the island. You're not allowed without an invitation. You have Kele, who liked the fishing and the naps. He claimed the island of Molokai, which has tons of fish ponds on it. And last, you have Luka, and he claimed the island of Koholave, which nobody lives on to this day. And that is largely because there is no water on the island. And he did not like that. So, again, not sure if this is how the Hawaiian Islands, but that is one of the possible stories of the Menehune. Thank you.